accountability buddies. This is Les with another episode of Less is More Healthy from the car. Um, yeah, having some issues. And yeah, so the big issue I am having today is yesterday I went for a 30-mile bike ride, and it was great. Fantastic ride on the rail trail that goes from Peabody the whole way up to Boxford. I had not rode the portion that goes from Danvers to Peabody yet. It's, I just had always gotten on at Danvers and just headed out to Boxford. Um, I'd always just done that, and I was like, well, you know what? I need to do these last couple of miles so I can say I've done the whole rail trail. So that's what I did yesterday. I got on the rail trail where I normally do, and instead of turning right, I turned left, rode the whole way out to the trailhead in Peabody, which is really interesting. It's really well maintained, but it also goes through some really kind of, I don't know if you call them urban or suburban areas, but it's all this section of like 114 that it kind of runs along and over. So it's got the suburban section and then that urban section of like shopping centers and things like that. Um, if you are someone who is like doing a car camping type, RV style van life tour of the US, and you're looking for a spot where you can get some like nature into your like camping experience, your RVing experience, um, without getting too far off the road. The Walmart on 114 in Peabody or Danvers, I think it's Peabody. Um, it's right off 95, so you can pull off, you can park, you can overnight park there, and behind the Walmart is a set of stairs that go up to the rail trail. So you can get on the rail trail and you can ride it or you can walk it. So all kind of people have put all kinds of like little like decorative things, little garden areas along it. It's really cool. So the rail trail itself is really well maintained. Lots of gravel, like packed gravel, for the majority of the trail. The very tail end of it, when you get to Boxford, is new trail. They're just renovating the rail trail in that section. So some of it has gravel. They're slowly graveling in the old trail, and they're cutting back the limbs and things, so the trees and limbs, so that the trail is easily accessible for the variety of people who are going to use it. So you can do a full 30-mile hike from the Walmart, or bike ride. Well, actually, it wouldn't quite be 30 miles. It'd be 25 miles. I forget that I haven't added 4 or 5 miles from my house. So super accessible from the Walmart or from any of the trailheads in the area. Pretty well marked out, easy to find. Also, just in general, a lovely trail. There are water stations and um, emergency tool section stations, um, at like the 10 mile at the very start of the trail, right around there. There's a tool station, and then about a half mile in, there's a water station. And then about 10 miles from there, I can't remember what it's called. It's just outside of Danvers and before Wenham. There's another water station in a little park. Really cute. So anyway, enough raving about my local rail trail. Get out there and see it if you get a chance to come to the Danvers Peabody area, and enjoy it. So the issue that I'm having, and the reason I'm driving to work instead of riding my bike, um, and I'm actually pretty bummed about it because today is a lovely day and would likely be a near perfect day to ride my bike um, to work because it's 70 degrees right now, and expected to only hit the mid 70s today. And there's a nice breeze and sunny skies, and it's gorgeous out. And I'm driving to work because I have saddle sores again. So I've now, at this point, ordered some preventative creams to rub onto my behind before I get on my bike. Some of them so there are different kinds of creams to use. Some of it you put onto the chamois, and some of it you put directly onto your skin. So I've ordered a couple different versions to see what is going to work the best for me, and I'm going to experiment the rest of this week. So I think the sore should be healed up, and so I I think the best way to kind of explain what's going on is like extreme swamp ass, which is not like just stink. It, I mean, yes, my whole body was very sweaty yesterday. It was pretty warm out on the rail trail, and especially in the more urban areas, it was like 10, 15 degrees hotter in the urban areas when I was biking home and I was headed out. And because of that, what ends up happening, this you sweat, your chamois, and all of that holds moisture in. And I'm not exactly sure how to prevent some of that. Like, I don't know, like everything was kind of damp, and I think just like from being in the saddle for about 3 hours to do the 25 miles, I took ample breaks. But I don't think the chamois dries out enough during those breaks, because normally I'm sitting in the shade because it's hot. So so I'm sitting around in the shade, letting my body cool off a little bit. But as my body's cooling off, the chamois isn't drying. And so when you keep a delicate body part or body parts in a hot, wet environment, and then apply friction, it's not pretty. So anyway, essentially, that from the you go from swamp ass to what I've heard of as monkey butt, which is a reddening and inflammation of your behind, and that's kind of what I've got going on. I don't have any open actual sores. I'm fortunate that what I the riding hasn't actually abraded the skin, which is I think the next level of saddle sores is the skin actually sloughs off like a blister. So fortunately, I don't have that situation going on. I'm just pretty sore um, in the behind area, and the chamois is supposed to help that. I do not find it helping at all. And it may in fact be making it worse because it's holding a lot of moisture. And I don't know what the solution for me is other than applying some creams and hoping that those help out. And so yeah, it's actually surprisingly painful, and I don't know if painful's the right word. Um, it's just sort of like a burning sensation on the areas of my behind that have contacted the saddle. So enough talk about my ass. The new setup for the bike with the handlebars is pretty much spot on. I am going to bring it up and back a little bit more. Um, I do think after doing a bit more research that the bars are a little too wide for me, and I might need to upgrade to a slightly narrower bar. I really like the Jones H bar, but like so many things in the cycling world, it's made to the specs of men and not for someone like me who while I have wide shoulders for a woman of my height, um, they are significantly more narrow than most men who are into cycling, at least from the specs that I've seen online in terms of these H bars. And, I'm even more limited because I'm buying knockoff products. The other thing that I am tempted to look into is to get a pipe bender so that I can bend the um, bar into a better position for my shoulders. It just really needs to come in like at their apex, where the grips meet the cross section, right there. They like if that is the perfect width for my shoulders, or it feels like the perfect width for my shoulders, and my hands kind of naturally fall there. I think if I took and bent the bottom half of the bars in where I'm generally gripping, then I would feel super comfortable. I may just go ahead and buy like a mustache style bar, um, because that you can usually find mustache style bars in a variety of sizes that are gonna fit. Um, uh, yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm struggling with some monkey butt, and I'm not riding my bike to work. I'm very bummed about that. But I did not shoot a lot of video. Uh, oh, the last thing, I'm finally getting the file management under control. I'm glad that I've had this week buffer of having all like a week's worth of videos that I processed over the previous weekend finished. But now I'm also in the situation of I don't um, I don't have the videos processed for this week. I had 104 process. 105 is processing right now. I don't know if I have enough room on the little computer to do it. Um, and I can't process it on the laptop because the files are on the little computer, and I'd have to move everything to it would be a whole situation. So anyway, I am working on making things smaller so I can actually use a little laptop. I'm also looking at getting an expansion hard drive for it. I regret not splurging the extra $100 for the terabyte drive initially. Instead, I got the half. And when you're doing video, you need a ton of storage, and you need enough space on that hard drive so that your computer has the space to do the processing. It needs space to process, not just RAM and everything, but it needs space for temporary files. You don't have that. You don't have the space to make video, and that is the problem that I'm running into. I just don't have quite enough processing space for the computer to process the little file, the giant files. Um, so, yeah, that's where I'm at. 104 should be up today. You're probably going to see this a week from now, so that it would have been a week ago. 105 should be up on Wednesday. And I'm getting there. I'm getting caught up. And with that, I thank you, and I'll see you next